Do you ever listen to audiobooks? I'm thinking of things like, at the moment, there's Audible, which is run by Amazon. There are other ones, but that's the biggest one. And you can listen to a book being read by a narrator. And there are advantages and disadvantages. Another way of saying that, there are pros, advantages, and cons, disadvantages of having an audiobook. The biggest advantage to me, I think, is you can use your hands to do something else. You can be washing up and listening to an audiobook, or driving a car and you can listen to an audiobook. So you can read while driving. Those are great advantages, I think. The biggest disadvantage, I think, um, well, with a book, a written book, you have to work harder, which can be a disadvantage, but you have to read the words and then invent the pictures yourself in your own head. In other words, you have to interpret the meaning of the book. If it is narrated, if it's read to you already, the narrator or the editor has already made those decisions, so that you can't really imagine it completely how you want to. It's been interpreted by somebody else, which takes away some of the pleasure of reading, especially fiction. That's just my thinking. But anyway, I've got here 5 pros and 5 cons. I'll run through them quickly. You can read them if you want in the book. Number 1, audiobooks help you to multitask, right? So you can do other things with your hands. Number 2, you can finish reading more books a year. This is true. If you're listening to a book and then reading a book at another time, you'll find after 1 year you've read more books or listened to more books. Audiobooks save you from eye strain, maybe if you're straining to read something, hurting your eyes, so don't have to do that. Number 4, you can carry thousands of books anywhere. An audiobook is a digital file, right? You can listen to it on your smartphone. Number 5, they are better for people who can't or don't like to read. For example, blind people, if you can't see, you need an audiobook. Or some people are not very good at reading, they're very slow readers, but they still want to enjoy a book. So that's great. Cons, some disadvantages. You might miss the feeling of reading a physical book. I've talked about before, about holding onto that book. Something special. Sometimes audiobooks can cost more than paperbacks. Maybe. Although actually, if you're buying new books, I find audiobooks are cheaper. But certainly, there's no second-hand audiobooks at the moment. Also, you can't go back and forth easily with an audio file. Like if you hear something okay, with a book, if you read something and you think, well, that's good, you underline it or something. And then later on you think, oh, I want to check, and you can go back and find it easily and then go back forward. Audio, zipping backwards and forwards is difficult. Number 4, you won't retain information for more time with an audiobook. I don't know if that's true. Some people, certainly, they like to see it written down visually to help you remember. If you just hear it, it might go through you. Maybe. Everybody's different, I think. Finally, number 5, the quality of audiobooks is dependent on the narrator. Yeah, if you have a good narrator, somebody reading the book well, it can be great, but if it's bad, it's terrible. An example of a good one, excuse me, I downloaded Obama's autobiography, and it's read by Obama. Actually, I haven't listened to it. It's like 20 hours long. But one day I will. Oh, I listened to Bruce Springsteen. I like Bruce Springsteen, and he narrates his own autobiography. And that's great when you hear the voice of the person you're reading about. That's an advantage. But in other cases, maybe it's a disadvantage if it's just an actor. Okay, I've got 3 questions for you. Number 1, what's the most convincing benefit of audiobooks, do you think? Number 2, what's the biggest drawback, biggest con? Number 3, what are your experiences of audiobooks? Okay, have a think and see if you can answer in English. Okay, thank you very much. See you another time.